Alright, so we're doing something a little different right now. It's in the morning. Filmed a video last night, posted this morning. I thought, you know what, we ought to switch it up a little bit. I don't even have my tripod right now, but what we're here to talk about is the CZ400. I'm gonna drink it up. Drink it up. So this is a 1972 CZ400 motocross race bike. I've had this bike for probably, I don't know, 2-3 years, probably 3 years, 4 years, something like that. And this thing is as original as you're probably ever going to find one. And this came from a guy up in, I think it was in way up North Georgia from me, in a place called Resaca, Georgia, which incidentally is the first spot where a major battle was fought during the Atlanta campaign during the Civil War. But that's beside the point. This bike belonged to a friend of his. His friend bought it new he bought it in 73. It's a 72, but the title, I have the title for it, which is just freakish. The title says 73, but it is a 72 because it's going to be imported. So by the time it got here, it was 1973. Anyway, he bought it. Story is that he was a rather heavy man, and so he wanted a bike that was strong enough to pull him. And let me tell you what, boys and girls, this bike is strong enough to pull hell straight off the hinge. It's a 4-speed. I think when it was new, it was supposed to have had 42 or 44 horsepower, which is, funny because I used to have a tractor that had 40 horsepower, so it was producing more horsepower than my tractor. But, and this thing was probably producing more torque, because this thing will it's the only bike I've ever ridden that you can be in 3rd or 4th gear and roll into the throttle and just light the tire. I mean, it's crazy. All right, it's scary. It's what it is. It's scary how strong it is. But anyway, and it's scary how freaking loud it is. Anyway, back to the story. So the guy that I bought it from's friend, who bought it originally, he passed away. And the guy that I bought it from got it from, I guess, his widow. And he got several bikes, some bull tacos and stuff. I'm sorry, the lighting is horrible. The sun's in the worst spot that it could be. Anyway, he got it from the widow, I guess, and he got some bull tacos and stuff like that in the CZ, and he wasn't really into CZs, and so he put it up for sale. When I went and picked this bike up, there was nothing on it that wasn't original. I mean, literally down to the tires. The tires were the original Barham, made in Czechoslovakia tires, and when I had to change the rear tire because the tube busted, it was the original red Barham, made in Czechoslovakian inner tube. Yeah. Fortunately for me, the guy that had it drained the gas tank, so there was just nothing in the tank. The tank's like spotless, like it's just virginal, which you never see on these old bikes. So I brought it into the shop down there into the barn that you always see me in. We tinkered with it a little bit. I took the carb apart. It's got the original Jaikov carburetor on it, which I'm a big fan of. A lot of guys would always take these carbs off and put Makunis on them. I mean, it's even got, like, that's an original clamp right there. Anyway, a lot of guys would put Makunis on them, which, you know me, I like stuff original, right? So I like the Jaikov. It's an extremely simple carburetor. I mean, there's like nothing in it. It's amazing. This rig, I mean, like the sprocket has almost no wear on it. Original sprocket, original chain. It's got the original shocks on it. Now, it needs fork seals, and it probably could use a new set of rear shocks. But regardless, I mean, you're talking a bike from 1972 that sat in a barn since, according to this guy, that I got it from, since about 1978. So the guy bought it in 73, rode it for just a few years on and off, and then parked it in 78, and then I bought it, and it's amazing. So this bike, if you didn't pick up on it, it's made in Czechoslovakia. CZ is probably my favorite motorcycle manufacturer. I know they're communist. I know they were. I get it. It's fine. Doesn't bother me none. You got to remember, Czechoslovakia, now the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, wasn't part of the Soviet bloc necessarily by choice, all right? It's important to remember that. And it's also important to remember that they made damn nice motorcycles. And some of the advancements in motorcycles, like reeded carburetors and stuff like that, that's CZ, people. Okay, CZ did that first. CZ dominated motocross for years. And then, you know, once you get kind of middle, late 70s, you start seeing a lot of cheaper Japanese bikes coming in that were fast and more affordable. And the Japanese companies, unfortunately, kind of drove all the European makers more or less out of business. I mean, there's a handful left, but Montesa, Osa, Bultaco, CZ, I mean, there's just dozens of other ones that just go away by the time like 1980 rolls around. They're just gone. Like some of them hell and hawing for just a little bit, but more or less they all went the way of the dodo, as it were. But anyway, this bike runs like a stabbed rat. So I got it into the barn right after I got it home, and all I did was, like I said, I cleaned the carb, it didn't need it, poured some gas in it, kickstarted that thing, and I didn't realize how loud it was going to be, but I cranked it down there in that barn, and it was, and like transformers are blowing off of telephone poles and stuff. It's freakishly loud. Freakishly loud, okay? But anyway, what are we doing today? Today, my Kickstarter, one that was on it when I got it, because this thing is horrible to kickstart. It's a violent process. Anyway, so the Kickstarter, if I can get it in the light, had been broken in the past and somebody had welded it. Well, the thing is so hard to kickstart that the last time I kickstarted it, it broke that weld right there. So, which meant that this flopped too far back, and then you no longer could, imagine that's on there, it's too far back, so your foot slips off of it, if that makes any sense. So, I've got another Kickstarter right here off of this is off a CZ Coffin Tank 250 that I got from a scrapyard to keep it from destroying it. It's a little bit different. I wish it was it's a little bit shorter on the kick stroke, but that's alright. But other than that, it's the same, so it should go right on. And we're going to put this on here, and then we're going to see if this sucker will bust off, because I think it will. It's never let me down before. I can't ride it right now because the rear tire's flat. Still running the original inner tube from 1972 in the front, though, so that's cool. But if I can get this Kickstarter on, we should be able to crank it, and then you could hear the god-awful sounds this thing makes. It sounds like seven hells opening up. I mean, it's unreal. Alright, it's unreal. So, I don't have my tripod, so I'm not sure what the best way to do this is. I might could just do it one-handed. I don't know. We'll see. We'll give it a college try. If we can at least get it assembled, and then we'll figure that out. So, it's not a whole lot. So this, it's unique on the CZ. I think other bikes did this too, but so you've got the kickstart shaft right here, and the shifter shaft comes out of the center of the kickstart shaft, so it's all one assembly. CZ also did this fancy stuff right here where you've got this top plate to the top of your crankcase here. So, like on another bike, for example, if you've got something going on internally, you've got to do what is called splitting the crankcase, because it's two halves, and you got to split them. And it sucks, because there's like 4,000 shims in there, and all kinds of shit. And CZ says, no, what if we just make a little door, and you can open that up and look in there and see if it looks like a grenade went off inside it, or if it's just nothing. So when I bought this bike, the Kickstarter wouldn't return. I took that cover off, sprayed some lube on it, bam, fixed it. If this had been basically literally any other bike, in order to fix that would have been just, I mean, a nightmare. Okay? CZ. Alright, now, this is the same CZ that still makes guns. Same CZ. CZ started making guns right after World War I. And then, where's our British, European, CZ. Okay? But we're not in Britain or Europe, so this is CZ, my friends. Anyway, Started making rifles, shotguns, all kinds of, I've actually got a rifle that's or not a rifle, I've got a couple pistols that are CZs, vintage CZs from the 50s. I actually rode this bike with one of them in a holster just because I wanted dueling CZs. Anyway, we're going to see if we can't put this sucker on here. It should. With any kind of luck, should just simply go on. Unless the splines are different, which it shouldn't be. I'm gonna set you right there for a second. Hopefully you won't fall off and shatter my camera. Let's see. There it goes. Yeah, I just wasn't holding my mouth right, that's all. My hand is filthy, so I'm trying not to touch my lens here. So yeah, so it goes on there like that. Nothing too special here. And then you got your bolt, which I was going to put, yeah, here it is. This is the original bolt. Nothing special, just circa vintage CZ. And we're going to slam this sucker on, so I'm going to put you back up here, because I'm putting the bolt in a hole. Nothing special. I love CZs. I also love bull tacos. I'm a bull taco cowboy, you know, and CZ just has a special place in my heart. I've actually got a, what is it that, it's Czechoslovakia, the reason why I like Czechoslovakia or now the Czech Republic so much is that when they were part of the Soviet bloc, the Soviets would tell them to make shit, right, like make us an SKS, all right, their assault rifle or their battle rifle, whatever you want to call it. And the Czechs are like, yeah, we can make that. And then they make it, and it's completely different. And it's better, and it's in a different caliber. And then the Soviets are like, you know, cut it out, Czechs, all right? Like we already told you, we want it in 7.62 by 39, all right? The Czechs would change it to 7.62 by, I think it was 45 or something. They'd change it, like basically just to piss off the Soviets. So then they would end up making it. They told them to make an AK-47, all right? The Czechs come up with actually, and this will upset some people, but actually, in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion, a superior design to an AK-47. What was it? It was a, I can't remember the name of it right now, but anyway, it looks very similar to an AK. If you saw them in passing, you would probably think it was an AK, but it's not. It originally was chambered in a different caliber. And then the Soviets are like, no, you're part of the Soviet bloc. You're supposed to make the stuff we tell you. So I like the Czechs because they were always giving the guys in Moscow a little bit of trouble. You know, I like it. I like that. And they just make phenomenally good stuff. I mean, it's just simplistic, very Spartan, extremely well made. Just like tanks, basically. Like this thing right here, you're never gonna. The CZs, for example. I'm sorry, I'm a CZ fanboy. CZ, this bike, and other ones like it. Guys that were racing them back in the 70s had what they called a CZ start. Okay, that's where you had it in first. You had the clutch pulled down, and you had it basically at full throttle. And then you just let the clutch out. And you leaned way over the handlebars, and you just let the clutch out. Other bikes, if you did that, the damn clutch would explode, okay? But the CZ here, no. CZ's just phenomenal. I talked to a guy in California, I think. He's been dealing with CZs his whole life, raced them professionally back in the day. He's like, I've never had to change a clutch because it failed. He's like, I just would change it preemptively, but it's not I've never seen one that was bad. If that makes sense. Like it was working. I took it out, put a new one in just for the hell of it. I didn't change the clutch in this one. Yeah. This thing's just a rig. I did do, after I got it home and rode it around a little bit, the crankcase seals went out on it. So I did have to change the crankcase seals. But because CZ has better ideas, that's not even a nightmare like it is on a lot of bikes. I just can't say enough good about CZ. I love them. They're the Willies of the motorcycle world, basically. Well, that's tight. This Dick's headband. And then let's see here. Alright, so now that's on there. That'll fax. And then we get our shifter lever. And it goes back on this, let's see, on this tiny piece here. Nothing fancy. Just put it on there. Let's see, get my hand to work. Come on. It's too high. There you go. Now it's starting. I'll use the other kickstarter as a hammer. Put this bolt through. Once again, nothing fancy, just putting a bolt through here. Hold that. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to put this camera over on the hood of the truck because the sound that this thing makes is so loud it'll overload the microphone. I'm not even using my external microphone because it's so, I just know it's going to be so loud. I don't want it to blow y'all's eardrums out. But it sounds so good and it smells amazing when it's running, and it's just my brother is a 4-stroke man. All right, he likes 4-strokes. He likes Hondas. All right, Hondas. I'm not much on. I like motorcycles in general, right? They were forced upon me when I was a child, along with my other brothers, and I've been riding since I was very, very young, and my brothers as well, and I like old bikes, right? New bikes are more pleasant to ride in terms of, I guess you could claim they're more comfortable, right? If you're worried about such things. I like vintage, as you all know. Vintage bikes, vintage trucks, vintage cars, vintage guns, vintage everything. Vintage, all right, that's what I like. And so, this is right up my alley. And if y'all like this, there's plenty more motorcycles in that shed right there behind me that we can go through if you would like. Show you some different stuff. Now, I haven't cranked this bike in, I don't know, probably, 5 months, 4 months, something like that. So I'm hoping it'll cooperate. Like I say, it always has. This thing runs 2 petcocks because from what I've read, the original design only had 1 petcock. And basically the bike consumed so much fuel that it would suck the carburetor dry of fuel. So they added 2 petcocks. Right now I've only got 1 petcock hooked up. I've got a new one on the other side, I just haven't run the line to it. But the lines run together to a T unit and then run down to the carburetor. This thing runs dual spark plugs. It's got 2 coils. I'm telling you, it's serious. It doesn't have a kickstand because why you need a kickstand? You're supposed to be winning races, my friend. There's no time for this. Basically, if you didn't notice, like I like this motorcycle a lot. I like it a lot. Anyway, let's see if it'll. Let's see if we can't go through the cranking procedure and see if the sucker will crank. So what you have here is your cock here, all right? You open your petcock, and let's see. There's a little bit of gas in it. All right, now this, normally you would choke a bike. This one you tickle. All right, so you push this button down, and you hold that sucker, basically until fuel comes out of the top right there. See that? Coming out of the top? You want that. This is good. That means it's ready for action. And we're going to see if the sucker will bust off. I don't know if it will. I'm going to put you over here. Now, if you notice, the kickstarter's on the left side, okay? Most bikes, it's on the right side. A lot of European bikes, it's on the left. Bull Tacos is on the left. Like Osa's is on the left. Now, back in the day, you would crank it like this. You would stand here beside it on the right side and kick it with your right leg. I don't have anywhere near the balance to do that, so I straddle it and kick it left-legged. You just don't let it know you're scared. Now at back, it'll back kick and try to break your leg like there's no tomorrow. So you gotta watch out for that. Let's see if I can put you somewhere where you might could see it. Like I say, it's gonna be loud, all right? That's the kickback I'm talking about. I get ran out of gas. But anyway, hope you could tell how freakishly loud that was. Like I say, that Kickstarter is a little shorter than the one that it had factory. It's the same, it's just the foot piece is a little shorter. But I wish you could smell the smell right here. This is it's what dreams are made of, basically. But I hope you could tell, like, this bike hasn't been cranked, like I say, 5-6 months. It's just been sitting in the building. And then you get out here and, what, I kicked it 4 or 5 times? CZ, my friends. And if I actually rode it around and got it up to temperature, it'd sit there. I've had it sit there and idle, and 2-strokes don't like idling, okay? They don't like it. This one I've had sit there idle 4 or 5, 10 minutes. Go in the house, get something, come back out, get on it, ride it, rip hell off the hinge. This bike right here will do it, my friends. CZ. CZ, don't ever forget. The seat's original. That's the original seat on it. It's not ripped, nothing. Nothing. Is that not just, I mean, this is like a time capsule. I need to clean it up. It's a little dusty. Need to take the pipe off, clean it good, paint it, put it back on. But look at that smoke coming out. Look at that, coming out of that pipe right there. Need to put a 01 right here, number 1. Your air box is right there under the seat. That's your air box. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, Brian Poole, and anybody else, that other fella that wanted to see the bikes. I hope you enjoy. If y'all want to see more of them, if y'all like this, like I say, I've got a couple bull tacos. I've got a Pook. Got some other crap in there. My brother's got a bunch of bikes. I'd have to ask my brother if it's all right to show some of his. We got some goodies in there. Okay, some real nice bikes, hard to find bikes. So if y'all want to see more of them, you let me know. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. I know this is different. Normally I'm showing Willys Jeeps and CJ5s and stuff, but I thought, you know what, we're going to switch it up. There's going to be plenty more about the CJ5 coming up here in the next few days, so we might as well do something different. So CZ400, baby, don't you ever forget it. Look at it. Look at it. Drink it up. CZ for life. Willys for life. Hit that subscribe button, y'all. Don't leave me hanging. Don't do me dirty. Don't do me dirty. Don't do that. CZ, baby. Get it.